Hi, my name is Wendy Hayden and I'm with Natural Constipation Solutions, and today we're going to talk about eczema, skin rashes, and constipation. So if you or your child are struggling with these things and you're trying to figure out what's going on, you're 100% right. It is a sign that there is something deeper going on, that you need to figure out what the problem is. So if you go to your doctor and you tell them that you've got a rash, your child's got a rash, often they'll just prescribe a hydrocortisone cream or something like that to help with the itching and send you home. The problem with this is, just like prescribing a laxative and sending you home, it does nothing to actually solve the problem of why you have this rash or your child has this rash and are also dealing with constipation. And so this is similar to my story, because when my baby was born, he had weeping eczema, and the little creases around the fat of his ankles and his wrists and things would just weep. And the doctors never really did anything. They just told us to put hydrocortisone cream on this infant and send us on our way. And there's a lot of things that can happen because of hydrocortisone cream. It's not, just like using lotion or something. It's a medicine, and it can cause thinness in the skin and all sorts of other problems. So it's not a solution. But it is a clue. The fact that you have eczema or your child has eczema or these rashes is a clue to you. And so it's really important to try to figure out, what is this clue? And if you are struggling with eczema or other skin rashes and constipation, it is often a sign of food intolerances, celiac disease, gluten intolerance. So these are something that you should really look at more in depth. And I do have a video that I'll link above that goes into more depth on gluten. And so for my son, he had undiagnosed celiac disease. And once we took the gluten out of his diet, the weeping eczema went away. So we have a family history of undiagnosed celiac disease. My entire life, I had rashes on both my upper arms. And I just thought everybody had that these little bumpy things on my arms were something that everybody dealt with. But it turns out that there is a skin condition that's really tied to gluten intolerance and celiac disease, dermatitis, herpetiformis, and that's something that your doctor might think that it's eczema, or you might think it's eczema and you put hydrocortisone cream on, but it's actually an autoimmune skin condition that is related to not being able to process the proteins in celiac disease, and that is triggering this autoimmune reaction. So for my son and for myself, once we went gluten-free, our skin problems with that went away. But it can be other things as well. So it may not be gluten that is the problem. It could be dairy, it could be soy, it could be corn. There are other food intolerances that can cause rashes. But I often will be out someplace and I will see a little toddler running around or an infant, and the baby's got this red rash. And it reminds me of the pictures of my brother-in-law when he was a baby that I've seen. And my mother-in-law is so upset that she thinks, her baby had these rashes his whole life, and she didn't realize that this was celiac disease. When he was little, it wasn't something that was ever talked about. I remember the first time I heard it, late 90s maybe, that I ever heard of celiac disease. So it wasn't something that people were tested for. It wasn't something that was in the mainstream. Nobody was talking about gluten intolerance. But if you have an infant or child that has had the rashes on their cheeks, you definitely need to get tested for celiac disease. If you had rashes your entire life that have been undiagnosed, it could be dermatitis herpetiformis, and that you need to look into that is definitely something. Now, something to make you more comfortable, or your child more comfortable. So changing the pH of your skin can help a lot with the itching and the oozing and those things. And I know this is going to seem strange, but one of the things that you can do is you can use apple cider vinegar. And you can see this one, it has the mother, they call it. And that means this is an actual fermented cider. It is not chemically made. This is made fermented cider. So Bragg's apple cider vinegar is a common one. You can get it even at Aldi's now. You can get them all over the place. And it's cheap, and you can just take a little bit of that, even a couple tablespoons or a quarter cup, throw it in the bath water. You can dilute it and put it on the spot where the eczema is. As long as it doesn't sting, you're fine. You just want to make sure it's nice and diluted. Another thing that you can do to make it more comfortable is to moisturize it. And one of my favorite things to use is coconut oil. And why I like coconut oil is it's antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral. So it's going to help if it's something else that, it can work on that too. If you've got a fungus infection or if you've got a bacterial infection on your skin, it can help with that too if it hasn't been diagnosed. But it also really is emollient and it absorbs well. It's going to be a little greasy when you first put it on, but it'll absorb into your skin and it's going to protect it. And it's going to help, so it won't be quite so irritated. So those are just some things to think about if you are struggling with skin rashes and you're also struggling with constipation. If you think you have eczema or you don't know what's causing the skin rash, it's something to go to your doctor, try to get some testing done, try to figure out if you can figure out what the food intolerance is. It might be a good idea to do some food journaling, diary, write down if you are eating something and you have it after that, so that you can kind of connect those dots and figure out what is causing it. If you're looking for some good information and recipes and things like that, if you're struggling with constipation, my cookbook, the Constipation Relief and Gut Healing Cookbook, is available on Amazon. And it's got a lot of recipes that will help with things for rebuilding your gut bacteria, help with healing your gut. A lot of times skin rashes are a sign that there is something going on in your gut. And so, having some nice healing foods, fermented foods, things like that. And these have a lot of very kid-friendly recipes as well. My son had these problems and, I wanted recipes that were things that he liked and looked forward to eating. His probiotic lemonade, we called it. He loved that. He loved the fermented carrot sticks, which I was surprised. I didn't think that he was going to like them, but I made them anyway. And he requests them. He loves them so much. So you just never know what type of food that your child might eat that can help with healing their gut and help with their constipation and also help with skin issues that they might be struggling with. So I hope this video has been helpful for you, and I hope that you've learned some things and have some good questions to ask your doctor next time you see him. So thank you so much. See you again soon.